Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2018 career mode. Today we arrive here at the legendary Monaco circuit. But if you guys didn't miss the last episode of Spain, the start of the European season, and me personally finding a way to really fix the qualifying glitch, at least for one race, then do check that episode out in the top right hand corner of your screen. It was a very good race and it almost kind of kickstarted my season, so do check it out before coming back to this one, because this is going to be a very critical race in terms of are we competitive enough in this car. And as you can see on the R&D chart for this episode, no developments for the top two teams, Ferrari and Mercedes, so ourselves and Ferrari staying exactly the same. However, everybody else brought some form of upgrade to this race, as it's such an important race on the calendar and everybody wants to try and do well. And also it's a track where qualifying is so important. Therefore, you know, the better you perform in qualifying, then the chances of your race result are going to be a hell of a lot better. So, yeah, flavour upgrades for loads of teams here this weekend, and we haven't brought any, but we are still the best car on the grid by quite some way, so there's no real need or rush to really rush into upgrades. At the moment I'm focused on the reliability of the car, so we're going to buy hopefully some durability upgrades at the end of this episode if all goes well. And you can see on the practice programs on Friday, everything was going well. The car was fantastic around here. Really love driving Monaco. It's one of my favourite circuits, and it's just the ultimate driving circuit if you get it all right, and it was really good to drive this car. Had a couple of struggles like there through the Lowe's hairpin where the car does struggle to get rotated a little bit, but all in all a great session, and I was confident going into qualifying. But first of all, an interview with Claire.
You're first in the championship. You must be confident about winning it this season. You spent a lot of time on the track during practice. Does the car have enough reliability to sustain that? You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip? Appreciate your time.
And with the interview done, we delve into qualifying on Saturday. Lovely sunny conditions here at Monaco and the perfect conditions to try and excel. Now, bear in mind, we do have heavy rain for the race tomorrow all the way through. So, in the case that we got to Q2, we wouldn't have to use, obviously, a conservative tyre or worry about tyre wear, because we're not going to start the race on those tyres. So, in a way, we can kind of push flat out throughout the entirety of qualifying, which I absolutely love. So, let's see how this goes. Like I mentioned, the conditions are great, so it's the perfect timing to just really enjoy this track at its full potential and, you know, really pushing these cars to the limit. The qualifying in Spain was fantastic. When we got pole position, the car was so hooked up, so I'm looking forward to doing it all over again here at this brilliant street circuit. And Monaco, the jewel in the crown, the jewel in the calendar, so to speak, and I cannot wait to get going. As you can see here, everybody's getting ready, final preparations. Sergei Sorokin there putting his helmet on in the Williams car, but here we go, Q1 straight out on the ultra softs. Actually a bit of a change in approach this time around, going out on the ultras. The fuel wise, I put the lowest fuel, which is 5 kilos, and that was enough for 2 time laps, maybe even a third one, but I'm doing 2 time laps. So first of all, I'm getting a banker in, as you can see here, currently 7 tenths down in sector 2 from what I can tell there on my little screen, as we now go up to the finish line, and we are going to go P6, so not too bad, over a second off the pace though, and I knew I could improve, so I kept on going, as you can see, through turn 1, a little bit scruffy as we encounter Sebastian Vettel in the form of traffic. Luckily Sebastian just gets out of the way and we crack on with our lap, and we're so far on for an improvement through sector 1, only a tenth down. And now we go into the Lowe's hairpin, now moving on towards the end of sector 2, and we are currently on a much better lap here, as you can see, only a couple of tenths down this time around, and really pushing the car through this final section there, through the swimming pool section on the circuit, locking up the right front into Raskas, picking up some traction as we just get the final corner. A little bit wrong there, could have definitely attacked the apex a lot more as I try to straighten up the car too much, but keeping the car to the right, and we go P5, and a 7/10 of a second improvement there, and I was very happy with that lap time. And to be fair, it was good enough for P12 right until the very end of the session, as you can see there. And looking at the lap time gaps, we had about 3 tenths to 4 tenths in pocket to be safe. So what I did was, just to play it safe, to avoid AI glitch lap times at the end of the session, I went out with about 15 seconds to go to get on the racetrack. As you can see here, I'm literally just circulating to avoid the AI setting glitch lap times while I'm in the garage. But then the timer ends in the top right hand corner of the screen, and we drop down from P13 all the way to P17, and I was disappointed because I got caught out, and yeah, not ideal at all. And you know, in my opinion, I think the glitch helped because we was more than safe and the lap times were more than good enough, and then the AI set some ridiculous lap times. So unfortunately, we're knocked down in P17 in Q1. A disappointing result, and we've got to do it all in the race.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That was how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean Sea. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. We already see the lowest average speeds of the season here at the Circuit de Monaco, and they'll be even lower in the difficult conditions today. 19 corners make up this famous 2-mile track, and with the rain, it'll be even harder than usual to get that critical heat into the tyres. Don't be surprised if we see a safety car at some point during the Grand Prix. With me today, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Martinez. They're starting towards the back of the field today in a car that is fast, so they'll be disappointed, won't they?
It's not a nice feeling, I promise you. They've got a quick car underneath them, but they've got onto the grid today and they need a pair of binoculars to see the start lights. They'll be desperate for a good start to make up for some of that deficit.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Daniel Ricciardo starts from pole position today, and Kimi Raikkonen completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Magnussen, Max Verstappen and Hülkenberg, Vettel, Perez, Sainz and Pierre Gasly, Hartley, Van Dorn, Marcus Ericsson and Alonso, Ocon. They've taken a grid penalty. Leclerc, Martinez and Lance Stroll, Grosjean and Sergei Sorokin rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right then, here we go on the grid for the Monaco Grand Prix. P17 after a dodgy qualifying, but nothing we could have really done considering the AI situation. So we're just going to have to try and work for it here today. And it's going to be hard because Monaco is a place where you don't overtake. However, in the wet, I feel like you're going to have a couple more opportunities than you normally would in the dry. However, one step at a time. Let's see what we can do. I think the start on lap 1 is going to be critical. We need to try and be aggressive somehow. The dive into turn 1 is going to be very tempting to really make out as many places as possible. In terms of strategy, it's going to be full wets all the way through. So realistically, a one-stopper is on the cards. So we can do some strategy trickery because depending on AI, whether they form trains or whatnot, we can maybe pit in a few laps earlier and try and undercut or overcut or vice versa. So there's a lot of different options there, and that's going to be a good thing for strategy. So we'll have a big opportunity there to make something happen, but we need to also try and go for the overtakes. Fuel-wise, I've taken out a hell of a lot of fuel. We are 1.5 laps under because obviously I tend to save a lot of fuel driving in wet conditions by short shifting. So hopefully we're going to have a good race. It should be fairly straightforward in terms of what we're going to do strategy-wise, and it's going to be all about the on-track action. So let's just see what we can do. It is Monaco. It's going to be hard to overtake. I'm going to try my very best. Let's jump into it here for round 6 for the Monaco Grand Prix. Right then, here we go. We're going to get ready for the 5 red lights here in the Principality. Lights out, and away we go. And it's a decent start off of the line. It's a very good start, actually. As we race down to turn 1 here, we're going to get on the inside line of a couple of cars. Taking it easy, giving some room and giving the respect. Up into P14 though. 3 places gained, fantastic stuff. Now we've got to adapt to the conditions here. You can see it's an absolute monsoon here in Monaco. The conditions are horrific. Visibility extremely poor with the storm mod that I have on. We're going to go down the inside here of a couple of cars. Van Dorn and Ericsson. Let's pick up that inside move on Van Dorn if we can. We're going to get pinned in here just behind Hartley. It's just a slow train. I could have gone down the inside there, but Van Dorn was side by side with me at the time. But we're up into P12. 5 places gained. Fantastic start. Super aggressive, like I said, we needed to be. And we've made the inroads that we need. Now it's about trying to get a feel for the race pace and trying to make these moves and get ourselves into the top 10. If we're in the top 10 soon enough, then we've definitely got a race on our hands. So let's try and work towards that. But so far, this track feels horrible to drive in terms of conditions. I feel like I'm driving a boat. Got to be careful here. All about keeping the car in one piece and not sticking it in the wall. Right, personal best. We're definitely faster than Brendan Hartley. I've got the pace on him. We can stay in hot lap PRS as well for pretty much the whole race, I think. Obviously it's not going to do my engine any favours, but it's going to give me that extra performance in the straights and the acceleration that I need around here. So I think Hartley's going to be the next guy we pick off here fairly soon. I've definitely got the pace on him, and I think the final sector is realistically the place where it's going to happen, but I might be able to surprise him somewhere else. The low hairpin is tempting. I could have gone for it there, but I'm going to be patient. It's a long race. We're going to play the long game. You know, we don't have to rush into things and potentially lose our front wing. Alright, this is where the overtakes tend to happen. Approaching Raskas. Close to Hartley here, just pushing him through. Can I get the run through the final corner? There we go. On the power early on. We've got the exit. Do we have the straight line speed to match? No, we don't. And Hartley stays ahead. He goes defensive a little bit down to turn 1. That's going to put him on the back foot. Here we go. We get the traction up the hill. Hartley just closes the door on me here. Right, this is where it's going to happen, I think, mainly around the Raskas section. Close to Hartley here. We're going to set up the switchback through Raskas into the final corner. Down the inside. There it is. Job done. We are past Brendan Hartley. That's probably my favourite overtaking spot besides Massenet around the outside, but that's more of an overtake in the dry conditions. In the wet, that Raskas one is looking like the most likely option. But we're now P11 and we are just outside the point, so we're making great progress. If you look at the minimap there, we've got, I think, a Haas who's running pretty high up the order there, causing a bit of a train, so there's going to be plenty of opportunities to pass these cars and get in amongst that train. Oh, yellow flag in front. Something's happened here, I think. Let's wait and see and find out. Now green flag, so maybe it's been sorted out, but no, the yellow flag's still there. It's up ahead, something's gone wrong. I think it's a Red Bull. Yes, it's Max Verstappen, and I think he's pulling over. He's out of the race. Max Verstappen out of the Monaco Grand Prix, and that's put me right on the back of Pierre Gasly here in the other Toro Rosso. Can we get past him here through the final corner? Can we get the traction? Yes, we do. But he does just kind of pull away on the straight. I've gone down to medium ERS now to try and get back on target and also not cook my rear tyres. But we're now in the top 10 thanks to Verstappen's retirement. So this is making swift progress here. We've gained more places than I expected, even though I knew I wanted to be aggressive. I didn't think I'd be in the points after 6 laps. So we made great progress here. And you never know what can happen, but we're definitely putting on a show here at the moment. Personal best, but it seems like these guys in this train have actually found some pace of their own at the moment. So no moves to be done anytime soon, I don't think. We're just going to try and follow these guys. But we'll certainly get more opportunities later on down the line. So no rush, patience is key. I think we need to catch up back to that Haas car, and that's when the opportunities will present themselves. Gasly's just dropped off the pace a little bit here. It's going to put me right on the back of him through Raskas. I can't get the momentum out of there like I did on Hartley, but we're starting to get close again here. Out the final corner. I've also pushed the brake bias back a little bit, so that seems to be helping me in terms of my pace. I found a little bit more confidence on the braking, which is where I was lacking a little bit. But we're definitely starting to knock on the door now. Let's see if Gasly maybe makes a mistake, but we are certainly putting the pressure on here. You see through Massenet how much I gain in the braking. If I'm close enough out of turn 1, I could definitely get the run through there, but for now we're going to remain behind Pierre, unless I can catch him off guard somewhere. Okay, that was a good exit. I found some traction there. We're definitely closer than we have been to Pierre all this time, and Pierre locks up. There we go, under pressure. Gasly locks up, makes a mistake, and that lets me through into 9th place. There we go. Great stuff. The pressure finally paid off, and Gasly crumbled under it. Right then, this is good progress so far. My rear tyres, by the way, I just had a check before, they are going off quick. We should be okay for strategy. That we should still be fine to get to target, but the rear is going to be considerably more worn out than the front. Right then, we're right on the back of Perez now. This was a very strong lap. Definitely found some pace. 24.5, fast up of the Grand Prix. That's definitely a great lap, and we've got ourselves right on the back of Perez now as we go up the hill. Massenet could be the opportunity here I was looking for. That Force India's fast on the straight. We're going to go for the outside though. We're going to look for it. Can't quite pull it off though. Didn't have the grip, but we are still very close here as we go down to the mirror boat. No way through though. Perez stands tall for now. We might get another chance later on. Super close to Perez all the way through here. It's the closest I've been to any car in a Grand Prix around here. Not the best run though through there, has to be said, as Bottas clocks up a fast lap of his own. Seems like the Mercedes cars in the wet are working nicely. Through the final corner. Focus on getting the power down. There we go, we're close. Are we close enough? Into turn 1, very close. Focus on traction again. Perez just gets the edge as we tap that wall a bit. Can't get close enough, unfortunately. Again, around the outside. Can't quite pull it off, though. You could definitely tell that Force India is a little bit better on the straights than the Toro Rosso, but not so good through the corners. I'm fancying that Mirabeau dive, I really am. I want to try and make this happen into Rascasse, really, if possible. We are closer this time. Gonna set up the switchback. Not quite as clean, though, or as efficient as the Hartley one. So we're going to have to try again. Out the final corner again, getting the good traction there, but this time Perez is a little bit further ahead. Right, so my scheduled pit stop lap is lap 19. I've gone back down to medium ERS. We're starting to bunch up here with the two Renaults. If we get a little bit closer, I'm going to come in around lap 17, 2 laps earlier. I'm going to try and go for the mass undercut as I tap that wall there through the tunnel. Double lock up, but yeah, I'm going to try and go for the double lap undercut. Hopefully that will be enough. We're also almost back on target for fuel as well, so I should be able to use rich mix if I need it. So yeah, I'm just going to try and prepare this undercut now as I save on my ERS battery again. Okay, we're hitting lap traffic here. I think there's a Williams in front of the Haas. So that timing is perfect. We're scheduled to come in this lap on my undercut. That's exactly what I'm going to do. Everybody's going to bunch up here. This is going to be my chance for the undercut. We've got our battery fully charged. I'm actually using the hot lap because I've got a full battery. So this is it. This is the chance we've been waiting for. We're going to come in this lap for the undercut. Right then, here we go. Let's get ready for it. That Williams is holding everybody up, including Sebastian Vettel. We're so slow through here, but we're going to come into the pit lane and we're going to try and go this undercut. This is our chance we've been waiting for. Here we go. This is it. On to another set of wets. Right then, underway, 2.7. Not the greatest that we'll ever see, but it'll have to do. Still in P10, I'm confident we should be able to rejoin in front of Brennan Hartley, who's the next car. So we should have some clean air to push, which is what I was hoping for. I was waiting for that gap to open up. Otherwise, it would have come out a few laps ago. But there we go. We've got it done. And we're in P10, still in the points. Now, we've done our one and only stop, and we're on fresh wets. So now, straight into hot lap. Fuel's back on target. Let's just push hard here. We've got 2 laps to try and make this happen. There we go, purple middle sector. Straight to work here and putting in the sector times, which is what I need. A purple final sector as well. We're doing exactly what we need to do here. I need a fast lap of the Grand Prix now in this lap to really cap it off. This is it, the moment of truth. They're all in the pit lane. We're on the pit straight. We're on for our fastest lap. There we go, we've got past everybody. 23.7 fast lap of the Grand Prix. And we've got past Vettel, a Renault and a Toro Rosso. I think the other Renault should be going around for one more lap. It looks like Perez is going around for one more lap as well. But there's Magnussen in front of us, so we've definitely got the undercut. It's paid off, and we're on the back of the Haas that was holding everybody up. Alright, so Sorokin's holding up Magnussen here. This is our chance to get past the traffic.
Valtteri is in the pits.
There we go, we get past traffic with no issues. And we are going to be on the back of Kevin Magnussen here. Let's try and get past him as soon as possible to really put these tyres to work and catch up to the front pack if we can. Here we go, very close to Magnussen here as we go into Rascasse. No form of a switchback just yet. However, good traction out of there. We're very close. That Haas can definitely go in a straight line as we gain the other place in the Renault. Magnussen goes defensive. A little bit of contact there as he goes to the middle of the track. Again, up the hill, picking up the momentum. We are on fresh tyres. Will we have the grip around the outside this time? We're having a look. We're going for it. Not quite. Doesn't work out. We stay behind for now, but we are up into P6 in this race now. The undercut has paid off to perfection. I don't think Perez has come in yet, so he's still yet to pit, but we're definitely making progress here. Oh, we got close through there. There we go. We've managed to get the run into Mirabeau down the inside. Wow, just about managed to squeeze through there. I thought I had a nosebleed, but we pulled it off and we're up into 5th place. And it should be P4 because I think Perez has to come in. So there we go, job done. That strategy has worked out to perfection, and we've cut our way through the field. Now we can continue on here and try and maybe chase after a podium if possible. There's still plenty of laps left in this race, and I know I've got good race pace, so you never know, it could still happen. Another fastest lap of the race. Strong pace. If we keep this going, we can make something happen. There's still 11 seconds to Perez, and I'm wondering why he's not coming in, unless he's maybe not doing a pit stop, or he's already maybe done an early stop in the race. I'm not really sure, but either way, good pace. Let's keep it going. Another fastest lap, an incredible final sector. I found 2/10 there. Really flying around this race circuit. Perez now within 10 seconds. We're making massive strides here. We're going to do this. We're going to catch him, I think. We match our fastest lap again there. Gap to Perez 6.7. Making huge strides.
Okay, some information on signs. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Signs with car issues, but he's behind me, so that's no real concern. 4/10 up in the first sector. I am flying around here, I really am. However, I'm doing my rear tyres no favours. You can see that massive skid, losing the rear end, an absolute treat, but we are really flying around this circuit. Shades of Senna in 85. Okay, that was the first lap where I just had to back out a little bit. Rear tyres were starting to say no, and the level I was pushing at was a little bit too much now for the rear tyres. I've had to also turn down the engine a little bit to save battery and fuel. But we'll go again, we'll have a second charge. I think at this point the best we can aim for is P4, I think. The top three are just a little bit too far out of reach for me to pull off the impossible. That came out of nowhere, jeez. Another fastest lap. Okay. It seems like the standard engine modes actually gave me a better traction out of corners, and I found a bit of pace, so sweet. Also, I managed to cool off my rear tyres a little bit, which I think also gave me that grip. That's why I had that poor lap before. I kind of just cooled down a little bit, put my tyres back into the zone. But I'm still having to be very careful here. But we're definitely catching Perez. You can see him now visually. Right, back into hot lap. We've got a full battery to deploy on Perez. Let's go hunt him down and try and get this move done. His tyres must be in a lot worse condition than mine, so he should be pretty vulnerable. I can visually see Perez struggling with his tyres. He ran so deep into Raskas. And you can see again there, he's really struggling for traction. He was just a bit far back, but if I'm closer to him, he's going to struggle for traction again through there. Not great traction as we go up to Massenet. What is he going to be like for grip? I think that's going to be an opportunity for us. You can see him literally wobbling mid-corner there. Definitely on the back foot. This one is going to be over in a heartbeat, I think. I'm going to try and get him straight away if I can. I've just dropped off a little bit here. I'm struggling on my rear tyres a bit. This last lap or so, just lost the edge. I want to try and get close again, but my rears are getting very loose. Right, this time we're close. I've burnt off my extra fuel to be as light as I can be for this overtake. Now it's all about getting close to Perez. Into Raskas here. Not the best line, definitely not as aggressive as I have been. Can I open up the final corner a bit? Yes, I do. But to be fair, you can see I'm struggling for traction now. And Perez is able to stay in front a little bit easier. Come on. I wonder if I can get him into the same place I got Magnussen. That's now the place I'm starting to fancy myself because of my lack of grip through Raskas. If I can just get Casino square right, which I do. We're right on the back of him here. Down the inside. A huge lockup, but we just get it done. Drifting down the inside, but it's a fantastic move. A little bit hot on the brakes than I would have liked. My tyres kind of surprised me there. To say I'm running 52 brake bias, I'm locking up very easily, but then again I'm running 58 on the pressure. So yeah, I was a bit of a scary moment, but we've got the job done, and we're now P4. Now it's about bringing this home. What a performance. What an incredible performance in the wet conditions. Here we go then, into the final couple of corners to the final sector. On the last lap of the Grand Prix. What a performance. Bottas wins at Monaco for Mercedes, and we from P17 on the grid are going to come through for a phenomenal P4 finish at the Monaco Grand Prix. What a performance, and that is the sort of thing that will win you a championship right there. That performance is what I'm talking about. Get in.
Here come the top three, out onto the podium.
Right, there we have it then. Bottas wins at the Principality ahead of Daniel Ricciardo and Kimi Räikkönen. We come home P4, driver of the day has to be said, and our fastest lap was unmatched. Only three other people managed to get into the 1 minute 23s, but we was the fastest of them all. And then we have Perez, Magnussen, Sebastian Vettel, the man in second in the championship in P7 there, and then Nico Hulkenberg, Carlos Sainz with the car issues, and Pierre Gasly in P10. The McLaren of Stoffel Van Dorn just missing out, and Max Verstappen, the man who retired earlier on in the Grand Prix, the main retirement of the race. But in terms of the driver standings, we extend our lead and we are 6 points clear of our teammate Valtteri Bottas. It's a 1-2 for Mercedes in the championship, and we are 9 points clear of Raikkonen as well. Sebastian Vettel, who was second coming into this race, has dropped down to P5, and Perez, who was third, has dropped down to P4. But look at that top five, extremely close in the championship, and it's really getting tasty this season for season 4 of career mode, and it looks like there's multiple horses in the race for the title this season. In terms of the constructors though, you can see that we remain in first place. We extend the lead over Ferrari to 18 points, and we have firmly put Mercedes back on top as Red Bull overtake Force India there for P3. But all in all, a fantastic episode here at Monaco, and we're now going to move into the laptop.
Did you struggle to get through all that traffic today? The weather was miserable today, but do you feel this was an advantage for you? Do you think that you learned a lot from your rivalry? You left a lot of paint on the walls today. Were you struggling for grip, or did you just misjudge some corners? Great, well that's everything.
Right, so here we are then on the laptop. First of all, we've hit our team goal, which was finishing first place, which we did in the last race in Spain. We have 2,800 points to spend because we saved the 1,100 points we had from the last episode. And we're going to jump over to the rival situation though before we jump into some upgrades. Now, as you can see, Bottas has won the first rivalry of the season after today. He beat me by 5 points. We are 2 points clear of Ricciardo though so far in our other rivalries. So Bottas, it's 1-0 to him so far. So fair play, even though I'm in the championship, he's won the first rivalry. But now let's move into some upgrades. Now, I said in the last episode I want to try and get this ICE upgrade before we get the new power unit on the car for the next race. I want to make sure we get this on the car, so that's going to arrive for Canada. And to be fair, yeah, we can afford this one as well for the MGUH, so I'm going to get that on the car as well, and then that should be it for reliability for a little while, and then eventually I'll work my way towards this one here. But for now, I think that's going to do it for reliability and upgrades, and I think all in all I'm quite happy with that. We are the fastest car, so we can afford to not have to rush with development. We can take our time and focus on durability, so that way we're more reliable. But in terms of the engines, I think we are going to switch for the next race. I'm going to do that right now. So as you can see, the ICE on Power Unit 1 is pretty worn. We won't be able to use that in Canada, I don't think. I think that's a little bit too marginal for where I think we might have a problem there. But in terms of the rest of the engine, to be fair, the rest of it's actually okay. So maybe I might risk it. Maybe it's just the RCE, but the rest of the engine's fine. So I might actually risk running it in Canada and hoping I can get to the end of the race. Because if I get Canada done, then I would have done my 7 races. So yeah, I think I'm going to keep it on. I'm going to leave it for Canada. I think that might work. I think I might get away with it. In terms of the gearbox, we're looking okay there as well. 50% wear with all 6 races done, and the practice gearbox as well is pretty damn good. So all in all, no complaints, and everything is looking pretty damn good. So all in all, I consider that a successful episode. And if you guys did enjoy it, then by all means, please do leave a like on the video, guys. I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're new around here, please do get subscribed for daily Formula 1 content, and also turn on notifications to not miss a single video from me. But finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, thank you for watching, guys, this episode of Career Mode, and I'll see you in my next one very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.